Today I want to share with you 3 things that I learned from my new friend Magda, who is a Montessori style parent all the way in Denmark. Let's chat. Okay friends, if I'm being honest, I feel a little bit scared and nervous and timid to do this, but why not? Let's start a YouTube channel. Hey friends, welcome back. And if you're new here, I'm Magda, the YouTube parent coach on Debrief. Woo, hey friends. Okay, so let's get into it. Every Thursday on my Instagram account, posted here, I like to hold a chit chat where I connect to one of my other Instagram friends that just brings me so much inspiration, and I ask them to come on and join me for a live chat. I ask 3 questions. I ask who they are, what they do, and more importantly, why do they do what they do? And then we just open up into this beautiful conversation. And this started for me when I decided that I wanted to start casting a wider net. And the perfect platform for me is my Instagram account because it has allowed me to connect to people all over the world. So today I wanted to share with you 3 things that I learned from my first interview, which I had to wake up at 5 in the morning to be able to chat with her at the most convenient time for her because she lives all the way in Denmark. And how beautiful it was that Instagram was able to connect me here in Richmond, Virginia to Magda all the way in Denmark. Okay, so my 3 things that I learned from Magda, who I'll call the Montessori mom in Denmark. The first thing is your kids don't need an expert. They need you showing up and doing your best. And what I mean by that is that when I started talking and reaching out to Magda, she said, well, I'm not an expert, but I can just share what I've learned so far. And I was like, perfect. How she inspired me is that I started following her feed when I noticed the way that she documents and respects her daughter, who was, I think, 14 months when I started following her. I just started looking and watching and reading what she was documenting, and it was so beautiful how she was just observing. And almost, she would say, like, she would videotape and then she would go back and watch to see, like, what did she miss. When I knew that I needed to reach out to Magda to talk to her was actually something that she shared in her Instagram stories. She was cutting at the kitchen with her daughter, and her daughter was cutting and tossing, I forget what fruit it was, maybe strawberries. She was cutting off and tossing into a bowl, and what Magda did in the moment was move the bowl over to where she thought her daughter would be more successful, and her daughter actually overshot the next cut. So her daughter's looking down and cutting and tossing and cutting and tossing and cutting and tossing. And what Magda does is move the bowl over, and when she moves the bowl over, it misfires, like it sets off like this chain, and her daughter just reaches over and moves the bowl back and continues on. And what Magda shared in her story that just was like, she was like, I thought I was helping her, and then I realized that I messed up her process. I'm always learning from her. And that was like when I instantly DM'd and I said, girl, can we chat on Instagram because I've been following you and I love what you're doing. So I knew I wanted to talk to her, and I knew that she wasn't a Montessori teacher or trained in Montessori, but I just loved how authentic and real her feed was. And the first thing she said to me was that, but I'm not an expert. And I said, that's great, because your child doesn't need an expert, and I want to know about you and how you've made this your own. So in this talk, what she shared with me is that when it took her 5 years to get pregnant, and when she finally was able to get pregnant, she knew that she wanted to show up and learn the best method to show up to be the best for her daughter. And when she learned about the Montessori method, living in Denmark, it was kind of a natural jump that she learned, and she really resonated with this idea that we are, as the adults, we are required to build an engaging environment that allows children to become as independent as fast as they can. And so what she shares on her feed is just this journey of watching, observing, and curating her space to help create this independent living for her daughter. What I think is beautiful is that she's going along on this journey as her daughter is going along in this journey. And what's really fun now is that her daughter is I think almost 18 months, and she's been cooking and cutting with knives and exploring different textures and sensations. And it's fun to see how Magda reports back. And what was super sweet was last week she shared that she got her first unprompted I love you. And that to me just melted my heart. It's like waiting for it and then hearing it. It's just like, ah. I love it. The second thing I learned from Magda is to do your best. And sometimes when we hear do your best, it puts a lot of pressure on us. And really doing your best is showing up and just giving all that you have in whatever capacity that is, so that you can release yourself from this guilt. So sometimes you might make mistakes, and if you're doing your best, you can give yourself this grace, go back and reconnect and apologize and share that you are imperfect. And maybe on those days, that is your best. What Magda did was, when she got pregnant, she said that she needed to learn and reinforce some of her weak or missing skills. And that's how she started diving into parenting books and diving into the parenting community and the Montessori community, is that she knew that she wanted to show up and give her daughter the best that she could be. And she knew that there's a lot about child development, child psychology that she had no idea about. So she just started reading and just started testing and just started immersing herself so that she could make sure that she was showing up to be her best. Not perfect, not the expert, just the best for her. And the third thing that I learned from Magda was that parent styles, though they might be different, doesn't mean that they're wrong. She shared that she was born in Poland and her husband was born in Nigeria, and they lived together in Denmark. And so there's different cultural experiences that come to the table and create how they parent their daughter. And that she said that as she's like leaning into more Montessori, her husband is more like still rooted in like more traditional methods, but being able to blend it together and kind of meet each other where each other are strong and not focus on each other's weaknesses has been the key to her being able to curate her life the way that she feels proud to show up and do her best. It's this idea that I really resonated with, that to root yourself in your strengths, because it's so easy to pick apart our weaknesses. And a fourth bonus tip is that while we were talking, she shared so many awesome book recommendations, but the one that truly resonated the most with me and that got me back reading it is called How Emotions Are Made. And you can find it, it looks like this, and you can find it on Audible. And it is such a cool read. It is written by this awesome psychologist who goes through and just talks about how and why our emotions are made and how they interact into our human experience. It is amazing. It talks literally about how they form in neurons in our brains, but then also to how they are interconnected to how we are experiencing the world. And it was fascinating for me. I also talked to her about this book called The Universe Has Your Back, which is a Gabby Bernstein book, and it's listed right here, or this is what it looks like. And I shared that that book really helped me gain confidence that no matter what, no matter those hard days, those bumps in the road days, that the universe is always having my back and presenting to me the challenges and opportunities to grow that I need to listen to. Meaning, when I have a bad day, there's always some sort of gem in it, which is why I always focus on highlighting the wins. Focus on the strengths, reinforce the missing skills, and celebrate every tiny win. Because then you'll truly understand that these potholes that we run into, those are just opportunities to grow so that we can show up and do our best. So if you want to follow Magda, her Instagram is called Montessori Denmark. And like I said, she does a fabulous job sharing her personal journey with her and her child. And it just brings me so much joy to watch and see. So make sure to go and follow her and share with me in the comment if you know an Instagrammer that I should go and follow and maybe chat with, because I do it every Thursday. And if you're not following me yet, make sure to go click and follow me on Instagram so that we can connect daily together, because that's how I love to serve my community. All right, I'll see you next time. Bye, friends. Sign number 4 that you might be a permissive. Hey friends, Megan here. Welcome back. And if you're new here,